Good morning. Hey, I know you got your coffee. You may be sitting at your desk. Hey, I'm Dr. Caracas Watkins, Doc Rock, and I'm excited this morning as we are in this series, Leading Through Uncertainty. Leading through uncertainty. And just go ahead and get your pen and paper out, and we're going to talk and we're going to help one another. I'm privileged to be the CEO of Vision Excellence Company, where we do leadership and business development around the world. Also, I have the great privilege of being the CEO of Ability Plus, where we employ over 600 people in this state of Alabama, taking care of people with special needs. And some of the things we're talking about today in day two, which is making decisions under pressure. We do this on an everyday basis sometimes, okay? So it's not just psychology, it's not just hyperbole, it's actual things that I think we'll share today that will absolutely help you. I'm excited to be in your office today, in your house, or wherever you may be. We are still going to continue to pray for everyone who's been affected by COVID-19, every business, every person as far as their health, and because we're going to make it through this, right? There have been many things that have hit our country, have hit the world, and we weathered through it, and we became better from it and not bitter. So that's what's going to happen, and we believe in. Now, on yesterday, day one, we was talking about responding versus reacting. Responding versus reacting. And hey, we had some good feedback. Many of you all sent us texts, put things on YouTube. So we appreciate that. I would encourage you that we do various teachings throughout the month and year, and sometimes even on a weekly basis. So go to our YouTube channel, Doc Rock Leadership. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, and then you will have things coming towards you, and you can use in your business and your personal life. Also, there's a book called Attitude of Success, which kind of talks about how I got from being born to a 15-year-old to leading a large company. And I think it'll help you quite a bit. So we're going to get into this today about making decisions under pressure. Making decisions under pressure. And we'll talk a little bit more about what we're going to do on tomorrow in this Q&A that we're going to learn from one another. And I'm so excited about it. Now, I always go to this, and I generally use this all the time because it's so relevant to where we at in just business and in what you're doing in life. E plus R equals O. It's not mine, it's Jack Canfield's, okay? And the deal is, E represents your events, environment. The R represents your response to those environments, and then the O represents, the outcome, the results that you get. All right, now we cannot do anything to change events. Events are happening. COVID-19 is happening. Things are happening in your business outside of COVID-19, happening in your life outside of COVID-19. Those things are happening. Those events, that environment is happening right now. But how we can control the O, which is the outcome, which is where we want to go, have positive outcome, have positive production, be the best that we can be in our industry or personally as well, okay? We want this to be positive O. So how do we control it? We control it, by our response. And we have to respond the right way. Okay? So let's talk about decision making. And it's important because we talk about decision making under pressure, not just simple decision making, but sometimes when the pressure is on you, and sometimes it's on us. And guess what? You're no different than I. We all have days there's more pressure than others. And lately, with the environment that's going on, a lot of stress is going on. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now, when we talk about decision making, we talk about this process of making a choice. Decision making is you making a choice by identifying a decision. You're making a choice by identifying a decision, gathering that information, to assess alternative solutions to what is going on. Now, Dr. Joel Humans of Wesley College and also Psychology Today states that the average adult make 35,000 decisions a day. The average adult make 35,000 decisions a day. The average child makes 3,000 decisions. So whether we want to or not, we're going to make decisions. So if it's 35,000 decisions being made every day, what do you think is happening under pressure situations? You still have to make those decisions. We still have to make choices, okay, and what we're doing. Now, I talked about this a little yesterday, and maybe Dave, you can put it up on the screen. Our brain. Information comes to our spinal cord, goes to our limbic system, and we make decisions in our frontal cortex, okay? That's where decisions are made, in our frontal cortex, okay? But the information must go through the limbic system first, the system where your emotions are at, where, stress is there, where, our feelings are there. So many times, if we don't understand this and don't understand how to make those decisions, and it doesn't mean that you're not smart. You can be a genius and still make bad decisions. So it's not an IQ test. It's more of an EQ test. Okay, emotional intelligence, and which we do a lot of that teaching. And we certified through Talent Smart to do that. Travis Bradbury. But the deal is, okay, I know a bunch of smart people that make bad decisions. Hey, I made bad decisions. Maybe you made the bad decisions. So it's a process, right? And we got to understand that. You remember that incident that happened January 2009 when Captain Sully had to make a serious decision after some Canadian geese flew into the plane and both engines went out, and the air traffic controllers in New York area had two different airports. They was trying to advise him which one runway to land, and he made a critical decision to land on the Hudson River. It's winter, it's cold. How long will a plane float on the water before it goes under the water, before it sinks? I mean, a lot of decisions had to be made in a pressure situation. And thank God that Captain Sully made the right decision. But that's pressure. That's pressure. But that's an example that choices have to be made in business, in your personal life. And guess what? We're making those choices, okay? He's a hero. We regard him as a hero. We regard his co-pilot as a hero because the co-pilot was actually flying the aircraft, and he took over, okay, and made that decision. That decision brought ridicule to him, but he made the right decision because he had to go through steps, and we're going to talk about that today, that all of us go through. Apollo 13. Okay, they had on the ground here. Houston had to make some decisions. Okay, those are critical decisions. Those are precious decisions. Those were functional, as we call it, decisions. And we have to make those functional decisions every single day. We part of classified in the healthcare field, in a sense, because we take care of people with disabilities. We have nurses, we have many people in homes, we have all these things going on. So many decisions that we have to make are life decisions with people's lives, not just a decision that production is met, and that's very important. Don't get me wrong, I used to be an engineer for General Motors. That's very, very important. But what I'm saying is, everybody have an industry that they have to make a decision for the betterment of the company, and in some cases, like we, not just the betterment of the company, but the betterment in the safety, in the health of people. Okay, sometimes that's hard. Sometimes that's tough, but it's all right. We're not looking for easy. I always say easy is not an option. Okay, we're not looking for necessarily a lighter load. We're looking for a stronger back, right? So we have to make those decisions, and those decisions are so important. Now, Matthew Crawford talks about this decision process, and we're going to talk about Peter Drucker some too, world-renowned father of business and leadership, we call him. But Matthew Crawford, who works for this leadership business company that does models, and they send people from and executives around the world come to them and go through these processes and these simulations. And he talks about how one thing we have to do is challenge the constraints. We're making decisions under pressure. We have to challenge the constraints, because there's always some things that people say, this is what you have to do. You cannot go beyond these boundaries, okay? We're going to talk about this a little later maybe, but you got to challenge that. You got to challenge that. Also, you got to number two, you got to contemplate, okay, failing. Okay, you got to contemplate failure because failure may happen. Failure is not final. Okay, hopefully it's not, but you got to contemplate that. And that's very, very important when we are making decisions. We have to contemplate, okay, how can we fail? What are things that's there that would cause us to fail? Oh, I know what you're saying. No. Doc, hey, Doc, I get you, but we don't want to even look at failure. But you have to, because in making a decision, any decision, and especially under pressure, you got to say, weigh, okay, if we fail, how does it look? If we make a decision at Ability Plus and it goes sideways, how does that look? How does that affect us? Okay, after we make that decision, then what do we do next? That's very, very important. And then the third thing that Matthew talks about, and I love this, is check the basics. So many times in the world of innovation, we come up with a lot of big goals, big dreams, grandiose things. I'm like that. I'm a visionary. Anybody who know me, okay? But when you're making decisions, we must check the basis, because sometimes we get way out there and we don't look at the small, minute things that's right there in front of us. We have to check those bases, okay, just to make sure we are taking care of the simple things. Because if not, because sometimes look at the simple things, checking that out solves the problem. And because problems seem so big under pressure. When the pressure's on and it's time to make a decision, I mean, it just seems like a mountain. It's like overwhelming. It's like, oh, let me go get a cup of coffee. Let me go outside and walk around the building 2 or 3 times. Okay, my goodness. But we have to calm ourselves down, right? Because that decision, many times those decisions, especially if you are a senior leader or even mid-level leader, can affect you, the company, the vision, the strategic plan in a way that's devastating, okay? Can hurt you as an entrepreneur. I mean, you can be out of business. You're thriving today and you surviving, tomorrow, and you dead 5 days, 2 weeks from now. And so those decisions that we make are critical, okay? Critical and how we go forward. Now, I'm not standing here lecturing you, telling you I have it all together. We all learn together. We all are growing, okay? But these are some nuggets, and some of these things you already know. I'm here just to remind you and encourage you, hey, let's do it. Let's keep going forward. And so we can, the people that, that work with us, our partners, those who follow us, you as a leader, they can get the same thing and go forward. So let's talk about stress. Let's talk about pressure just a little bit. Because from a biological perspective, stress changes how the brain functions. Under acute stress, outcomes and decisions are associated with your risk-taking abilities. All right, it's really amazing that when pressure comes, how we do things, how we talk, how we speak, how our physical gestures, all those things change, because now your brain is being pumped with chemicals that cause you to be on high alert. And if we're not careful, the decisions we make can be detrimental. We're going to talk about that. How we help that in just a few minutes. Now, what's interesting is that, and we're going to talk about pressure decisions. And what's interesting is that some decisions, sometimes, let me say it this way, sometimes pressure helps us in decision making. It really does. It brings out innovation. It brings out, things that we didn't even know was there. You didn't even know your team could do it. You never dreamed about it. I'm telling you, even in this, people, let me tell you something. Your business is going to go to another level. I believe it can, because innovation is going to happen. Let's talk about some things. Number one is some of the best decisions are made under pressure. Absolutely. That's not me talking. you go and do any research, you'll see that some of the best decisions are made under pressure. Now, some of the worst decisions are made under pressure too, just to be fair. But some powerful decisions are made when the pressure comes because innovation shows up. Okay, we're not in isolation. Okay, many times we're in isolation when we make a decision. Also, pressure can result, and this is positive. Understanding pressure. It can result in focused attention and the use of unconscious reasoning. So sometimes pressure brings out us to be focused, our attention, and then the use of unconscious reasoning. Reasons we never thought about. Pressure brings this out. So we can't look at pressure all the time as something bad. It actually can be something good. Okay? It really can. But you and I must manage that. We must be self-aware of us, as we talked about yesterday, and then manage that, what we find out about ourselves, and then use that, okay, for the benefit of others in the companies that we are in, or the organizations or the people that you are associated with, okay? Now, also, pressure can force a decision maker to sort the relevant factors from the irrelevant. So pressure calls you to sort out what's relevant versus what's irrelevant, which results in clear thinking, in ambiguous situations, okay? That pressure calls you to sort out, what's relevant versus what's irrelevant. Because some things are irrelevant. And we know this. We all know these things, but we have to be reminded of these things, especially in times like this, because your future is important. And people are depending on you and I, and we are depending on other people, right? Because we're all in this together. And we're going to make it. And that's why I'm excited to be talking to you today at no cost, because we just want to give something back to help you as I help myself, as we help one another, and we're going to make it. I'm telling you, we're going to rise to the what we need to rise to the calling, to the challenge, I want to say. Now, world-renowned who Peter Drucker, who everybody, most people have read, many people, let me say it that way, have read Peter Drucker's book, being the effective executive. And Peter Drucker, is one of the fathers of business development and leadership. He had a decision-making model that process, and I just want to go through a few of those because I think it'll help us in where we're going and making these decisions under pressure. And not just because of COVID-19, but in business, because we're living in a world of tremendous competition. Tremendous competition out there. A world that's very agile. Things are not the same all the time. They are moving. This is the world we're in now. And we're not probably, and we can't go back, I'm sure. So we might as well go forward, understanding how to go forward outside of just COVID-19, outside of what we see right now, but just the pressure of your industry that you're in, the pressure of being that person that you want to be. That's important. So let's talk about these, okay? Let's talk about this process. Number one is classifying the problem. Is it generic? No. Is it exceptional? Is it unique? Classify the problem. Put it in a category, okay? Don't just say, I have a problem, Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. That problem was not a generic problem. That problem was a very unique problem, okay? It was an exceptional problem. So what must happen is we must classify it and put it in the proper category so we can prioritize, okay, put priority on what we need to do. So classify the problem. Number two is define the problem, okay? What are we dealing with? What are we dealing with? We have to define that right there in the midst of the pressure. We can't, even though it's pressure, even though things must happen, even though a decision must be made, we cannot rush that decision. Very important that you don't rush that decision, because if you do, then the outcome may not be what you and your team is looking for. Then number three, specify the answer to the problem. What are the boundary conditions? Specify the answer to the problem. What are the boundary conditions that is associated with this problem? What's going on here? All right? So specify the answer to it. We're looking for it. Remember, what is decision making? Under pressure, you're going to make a choice of decision. You're going to make a choice of decision. And you're not, hey, we're going to miss it from time to time. We all do in business. We all do in our personal life. It's all right. But if you go through the process and understand it to the fullest of your capability, then the majority of the time, you're going to be on the right side. I'm telling you, you're going to be on the right side. Now, number 4, to Peter Drucker's motto, is deciding what is right rather than what is acceptable. You know, decide what is right versus what is acceptable to meet these boundary conditions. What is right, not what's acceptable. Many times we look at what's acceptable, but what is acceptable may not be what is right in that condition that you need, okay, for the situation that you're in. I can't go and give you details right now, but there have been lately, okay, and even before COVID-19, we've had many decisions we've had to make under pressure, and we knew what was acceptable, but we had to get to what was right. And sometimes what is right is not popular. It's not popular. You as a leader will make some decisions under pressure that are not popular, but are right, and that will keep you, okay, in line to where you and your company and those around you, your team, need to go. And we must accept that. We must accept that. Number 5 is building into the decision the action to carry it out. So now, number 5, Peter Drucker said, you got to build into the decision the action to carry it out. How you going to carry it out? Now, you may not all know all the details about it, but what is the action? What is the next step that you need to make in order for this to happen, okay? What actions that you need to be committed to? What commitment? I don't have time to really talk about commitment. That's a different seminar, but I want to say this right here. Commitment is so important because when pressure comes, commitment keeps you level. It keeps you on the foundation. I'll say that, okay? So you got to find out, okay, the action to carry it out. Very important. And then number 6, you got to test, okay, you got to test the effectiveness, validate the decision against the actual course of events. Test it out, okay? Check it out, all right? How effective is it going to be? Okay, can you keep going forward after you make the first step? Or is it or after you make the first step, after you go through the process, you do not see it going the way you need to go. Okay, now it's time to make another decision. Oh, yes, it is. It's time to make another decision, and we have to be bold enough to say, hey, we that's not going right. Let's shift. Many times in situations, even in Apollo 13, watch that. We use that in leadership training. It's pretty powerful, right? Watch that movie because they did a great job. I read up on it, and the directors went to great lengths to make sure most things was accurate and not just something for television or a movie. And they changed many times. Let's do this, and like no. Come on, that's what must happen. And guess what? You're going to be able to do that. And as they got those astronauts back home to Earth, guess what? You're going to get your situation back home. It's going to be a success in the end. And I believe that. But you got to believe that as well as we go forward in making these decisions. Now, I want to talk about some I'm going to call them practice principles. Charles Buffett talks about it some. He's the CEO of Clearview Continuity, which is a leadership outfit. But so let's talk about some of these practice principles that I think we need to do in order to achieve our goals and dreams under pressure, making these decisions, okay? Number 1 is your mental state. Anybody who know my teaching, I reference this mental state. Tony Robbins does a great job with it with this as well. But we got to recognize, how you've been affected, how your decisions being affected by stress, emotions. What your background, your environment that you grew up in. Okay, even gender sometimes. Okay, we have to manage our state of mind. Remember, you are what you think. So even in the midst of all of the decisions, your mindset, your state has to be controlled by you. Better words, emotional intelligence, okay? It doesn't make a difference how high your IQ is. Under stress, you'll make some bad decisions if you're not careful, all right? Very, very important, your mental state. Number 2 is future of your decisions, okay? How does it affect your long-term strategy, your long-term goals, the future of your decision? That's very important in decision making, okay? The future of your decision. Because the deal is you want your future bright. You have some things that you have already planned a year from now, 5 years from now. How do the decision, the choice of decision, which is decision making, how does that affect it? We were talking the other day with some of our executives, and we have to make some decisions, and we were thinking about, now, how will this affect our plan 3 years from down the road? And we say, well, okay, this is how, okay, we can't fully do that because it will mess up this, but we can take part of that and initiate it today, and it won't hurt it. We have to do those type things, and I know you're doing them, okay? The next thing, the next principle is gut instinct. Now, many people believe that your gut instinct is irrational. Not so. It's proven. Not so. Not so. You know, it's really due to rapid assimilation of experiences. So your gut is rapid assimilation of past experiences, which cause you to make incredible positive decisions. Your gut is powerful because, as I said, it's rapid assimilation of experiences, and your brain is so smart. Oh man, it's so smart. It can bring things together. So never discount that gut instinct when making a decision under pressure. I'm not saying you're gonna get it right every time, but the gut it has warrant. You know, it's a warranty there. All right. The next practice principle I want to talk about is don't be sidetracked. Dismiss things that are irrelevant. Dismiss them. Don't get sidetracked. Because what happens is we start chasing rabbits, as so to speak. Okay, and you can't get sidetracked by that at all. Okay. Very, very important. Now, the last principle, when we're talking about practice principles, and we'll move forward, is ask for help. Help. Sometimes I gotta say, God, help. Ask for help. We ask for help. Asking for help is not a bad thing. It really is not. Okay, because when we ask for help, we are challenging other people's choice of decision to help us make a decision better, okay? To give more light. We are relying on their wisdom, their experience in an area to align with our experience, and it helps us make better decisions. So it's all right to ask for help, no matter who you are. I encourage people, I encourage companies, I encourage individuals inside our company, hey, never ever be in isolation and don't ask for help from people. That's why we are a team. That's the whole essence of building a team. So that's important. Now I want to talk about 6 how-tos with making pressure decisions. 6 how-tos in making pressure decisions. Number 1, expect the unexpected. You know, listen, expect that there's an unavoidable situation that's going to come your way down the line to disrupt and interrupt your company's operations and even maybe you personally. Go ahead and expect it. Go ahead and expect it. So when it comes, yes, it may take you by surprise, but it won't knock you off kilter. It won't just demoralize you. It won't push you to a place that you can't even go through the decision-making process. Because sometimes when we're not expecting anything, it's just so shocking it knocks us down. And we can't even do the decision-making, go through those processes that Peter Drucker and others have talked about, and myself here today, because The deal is, you are out for the count. But go ahead and expect something will happen. It was one of the hardest things for me to do. And I do it now quite often, and it's made me a better person and a better leader, I believe. Of course, you got to check with the people who I lead. They can validate that. They may say, no, he's terrible. but personally, I think it made me better. Why? Because now I'm not just killed. I'm not just knocked down, okay? So, number one, okay? Number two, run decisions by trusted team members, mentors. There's safety in having many advisors. There's safety there. There's safety there. So run it by your team. Yes, the decision may be yours to make, but you need to run it by your team. But not only can you run it by your team, run it by a mentor, somebody outside of your team that you trust their wisdom. You trust their decisions. They're not there to make the decision for you, as we know. We all know this, but we have to be reminded, okay? I have to be reminded. Go to your team. See what they have to say. Go to your mentor or mentors and get their opinion. Get her opinion on it. Get his opinion on it. Why? It makes you a better leader, but it makes you a better decision maker. Okay? Because you got a lot riding on this. We got a lot going on. I know your company is thriving and you are thriving and going forward. So very important. Number three, build trusted relationships. All right? You got to build some trusted relationships because you got to rely on those relationships. Not just mentorship, but relationships with people, relationships with peers. That people, when you go to them, they trust you and they will talk to you in plain terms and not just say something to you to get rid of you because their time is precious. But when you have relationships and you build those relationships, then that person, they are more apt to listen to you and hear what you have to say, and then make a judgment call or give you encouragement or advice on that. When you don't have that relationship, then people tend just to say something very quick to get you off their schedule because they got other things they have to do. That's very, very important. Number 4 is look over the horizon. Look over the horizon. Now, what I mean by that, you got to develop the skill set to anticipate events and challenges, okay, you may encounter in order to prepare yourself, okay, when they happen. Go ahead and look over the horizon. You say, well, Doc, number one, you say expect the unexpected. Yeah, but now I'm telling you to look over the horizon to prepare yourself, okay? Look past your eyesight. The great Carrington Boone says vision is being able to see further than your eyes can look. So you got to have some vision when making decisions, okay, in pressure situation. You got to look past the horizon, past what your natural eye can see, past what your team can see. What else is out there, okay, that we need to know about so we can prepare ourselves? Do we need to change some things in our strategic plan, how we handle various situations? Now is the time. My friends, now is the time that we look at our strategic plan. We look at our contingency models. We look at everything from the top to the bottom in our organizations, our companies, to see how to improve. Not that they are bad. They're probably really good, but we can improve. We can make them the best. Not my quote, but I like it. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. We want the best. We want the best, and you can have the best. Number 5 is keep a cool head. Keep a cool head. Hey, you got to keep a cool head. You got to stay calm in the midst of crisis. You got to use your emotional intelligence. You got to see what the triggers that goes on in you. You got to check that state. Come on, because they're watching you. They're looking at you. They are assessing how they're going to respond and how they're going to react based on how you are responding and how you're reacting. That is so, so important, okay? So, and I know it's easy to say and hard and much harder to do, but we have to do that. We have to keep a calm, cool head. That's important, all right? Now, here's the deal. Even in keeping a cool head, humor can help. Sometimes you got to be humorous. You just got to crack a joke. You just got to say something funny. And some people get offended of that, but sometimes in the midst of chaos, in the midst of things going crazy, we've had some situations that we like, oh my goodness. Everybody lean back in their chair, and we all slump down. Our state is messed up. Our physical state, our mental state, and I or somebody will say something funny, and everybody will forget about what's right in front of them, and then they will change their whole state changes. Like, okay, we can do this. You ever said, boy, I needed that laugh. We needed that. So we had to do things, processes, have mechanisms to calm ourselves down. And I'm telling you, humor is one. Go for a walk. Go to the park. But do something to calm down. Because guess what? There may be another crisis that a decision needs to be made in just a few minutes. Remember, the average adult makes 35,000 decisions. Children make 3,000. So it's not like you're not gonna make some more today. You're gonna make 35,000 today, and some of those gonna be just simple decisions, and some of them are gonna be very hard. There are times I'll tell you this story, and I do the last one, number 6, and we'll end for the day. There are times that I'm like, executives go out, and some of you like this, and we say, where are you going to lunch? Here's what I say: wherever you want to go. I do not want to make a decision. My brain needs a break. And we know that we get exhausted sometimes. One of the hardest decisions that I make every day, my wife and I, what we're gonna eat. Some of y'all like that too. What you gonna eat? You're like, I don't know. Want to go here? Want to cook? Want to want to support a local or a restaurant right now, especially with what's going on in our environment with COVID-19. Where we're gonna go? And some people are like, that shows you how important decision making is and how many we make. And now in the present situation, we have to go through these models and take things one step at a time in order to achieve greatness and achieve what our goals and our visions to complete the strategic plan that we put in place. Okay? Number 6, last one, act with integrity. Although great leaders are oftentimes, are actors, they rarely act inconsistent with their values. Great leaders are actors. I'm just telling you that. They actors, they act all the time. But rarely do they do it that they are inconsistent with their values. What are your values? Because if you stick to your values, when you make a mistake, you won't have to apologize because you're gonna make them because you stuck to your values. You stuck to what's important to you and your company. So we can't compromise in our integrity. Because as Simon Sinek, one of my favorite guys, when it comes to trainings and understanding leadership, and we have to remember the golden circle. We have to remember that because this is what leads us to where we need to go. It's very important. Like I say, we know what we do as a company. Some people know how they do it, but very few people know the why. And when you are making when you are making decisions under pressure, acting with integrity, you got to get back to your why. You got to get back to your values. Why are you a company? Why are you operating as an individual, as a person? What is your why? Because when you do something outside of your why, you're in trouble. You won't go forward. Need to. Absolutely won't. Your why is important. Excuse me. Very important. Now, as you had your coffee, I have mine too. It's very important. So, hopefully, something has been said that trigger you and push you to make better decisions under pressure. Every day, It's going to be some challenges, but no bad days. And y'all know what I say every time. And the reason I say it, because I want to remind you that it's very important. The 35,000 decisions that you make today, make the right choice. Make the right decision. And you will. You won't get all of them right. Some of them you just going to mess up. But the ones that are critical, that are unique, that will cause damage, go through the process to make the right decision. Okay? Listen, every day is a good day. Super Sunday, marvelous Monday, terrific Tuesday, wonderful Wednesday, triumphant Thursday, fantastic Friday, and successful Saturday. Now, I'm Doc Rock. I want you to join me at the top, but let's do it making the right decisions, okay? It's been an honor. It's been a privilege to talk to you this morning. On tomorrow, it's our third day of this. We're going to take Q&A, questions and answers. We're going to learn from you. We're going to learn from one another. It's going to be awesome. Tell some people about it. You'll be able to type in your questions. We'll read them out loud over the internet, so everyone over YouTube, so everybody can hear it. And then we will try our best to answer it. If not, we'll find the answer for you. Okay? Hey, it's been great. Subscribe to our channel. We have leadership teachings going on all the time. Doc Rock Leadership. Subscribe to it. Hey, get that free ebook, Attitude of Success, because success is on the way for you. Don't you stop. Keep going forward. Make this a great day. The rest of your day shall be awesome. I'm Doc Rock. Join me at the top. See you later, friends.